In this video, I've compiled 15 tips and tricks I've learned over my last 70 hours of gameplay in Stoneshard. This is looking at the game after the most recent changelog as of April 29, 2020. The game is unforgiving to new players, so follow my tips to have the most successful experience possible. Stay tuned to the end for a bonus game exploit that is invaluable. Tip 1. Explore each town, all buildings, and talk to all characters. Many of the characters can explain a lot of what comes from normal tip videos out there. One big thing some gamers may miss is that starting weapons are in the building where the soldiers sleep and you get your quest for Osbrook. The different characters will also gossip or give insight into the world of Aldor, the government, and how they feel about life in general. Tip 2. Leaving town checklist. Anytime you leave town, make sure you repair, fill your water skin, get medical supplies and food if needed. Always keep a small reserve of cash for supplies, usually between 300 and 500 crowns will help. You may be tempted to buy new armor or weapons. Just make sure it won't completely deplete your reserves and make it impossible to repair or purchase medical supplies. Tip 3. Take it slow. Do not rush into quests. Explore the map and find points of interest. Retreat to town if you become overwhelmed. Check the map and highlight dungeons near where you are. They will display red, yellow, and green for difficulty level. This gives you an idea on how cautious you should be when fighting enemies in that area. Make sure to keep your distance at first, lure one enemy at a time instead of taking on a full group. Later in the game, as you become more confident and gain more skills, you can take larger groups, but in the beginning, you will likely die. Tip 4. Easy ways to make cash. In the beginning of Stoneshard, it can be difficult to acquire cash to get supplies. The easiest way to get cash is to hunt for hides and to explore grave robbing. Use your bow or ranged skill to take on wildlife near Osbrook. Make a trip to the nearest crypt for grave robbing, which was added in the Trollslayer update. There should be a shovel near the abandoned looking shed when you get to the cemetery, so you never have to buy a shovel. In that regard, never buy lockpicks or crowbars, as you will always find them in dungeons. Picks can now break in the Trollslayer update, so if you are low, bash in doors and save them for chests. Equipment for enemies will always be broken and is rarely worth it until later in the game. Tip 5. Right-click on everything. Right-clicking shows all options for objects like doors, the water well, etc. I made the mistake for a while of buying new water skins each time I left the village, until I randomly right-clicked on the well. Also, right-clicking on enemies allows you to inspect them, gaining knowledge on their skills, cooldowns, resistances, and even their health. Doing so doesn't take up any turns, so it is highly advisable to do so in all battles. Tip 6. Use the Alt key. Holding the Alt key while in dungeons, the forest, or anywhere will allow you to see objects you can pick up on the floor. Whether your view is obstructed by trees or enemy bodies and weapons are strewn on the dungeon floor. You can also hover over the name of the item to make sure you only pick that item up. This helps a lot when looking for mushrooms, so you don't pick up unnecessary death caps. Tip 7. Mushrooms and herbs are your best friends. Penny buns and pine caps reduce the need to buy food from the tavern. Fly agaric is a good substitute for alcohol, especially when all of these mushrooms are cooked. Many of the herbs are helpful, like mindwort, henbane, and thyme, which restore morale, sanity, produce the battle rage effect, and regain energy points respectively. Tip 8. Avoid the roads. While they provide a straight path to dungeons and sometimes produce altars, they are also prone to ambushes. Early in the game, ambushes can ruin the experience and sometimes are comprised of as many as 5 enemies. When leaving a dungeon or in a bad way, Staying on the outskirts of the map allows you to escape any danger that may come your way. Traveling the open forests and fields is also a good means of running into graves, as well as mushrooms and herbs. If you are running away from enemies, make sure that you stay in the first cell of the new area you transfer to. If the enemy is right on your heels, this will stop them from spawning until you move forward. Then you can take them on one at a time, and this also allows you to heal up and reset before your next fight. Tip 9. Click the scroll wheel. This allows you to float your vision across the map and point your character somewhere outside of their default view. It is very useful when in towns and leaving dungeons. Tip 10. Weapon swapping. When the inventory is open, you can hit the W key to show an alternate slot for weapons that does not take up any inventory space. It's always a good idea to keep a bow and arrows no matter the class you are playing. When outside the inventory, toggle the W button to switch back and forth with ease. Tip 11. Always sell goods to the right person. This is pretty self-explanatory, but make sure you sell weapons and armor to the blacksmith, anything wooden to the woodworker, and any armor that is cloth or leather to the tailor. An added pro tip is to save all treaties until you unlock the Caravan of Travelers quest. The merchant in Manshire will pay much more for treaties than the one in Osbrook. You can also talk to each of the merchants. You can also talk to each person to see what kind of goods they are looking for. Tip 12. Unlock the Caravan of Travelers quest quickly. As soon as you complete your first 3 quests in Osbrook, it is possible to already fast travel between Osbrook and Manshire. This was part of the new Trollslayer update and a huge improvement to gameplay. I originally thought this would be some kind of escort mission, so I ended up waiting until my 4th or 5th quest, but as soon as you talk to Varen in his cart, you instantly teleport to Manshire and can travel between both very quickly. Tip 13. Make use of side quests. Following from tip 1, you will find new side quests introduced in the latest changelog. These quests can earn extra cash while running dungeons or traveling between points of interest. One of the quests asks for you to collect broken swords, while another asks for deer and moose antlers. Tip 14. Barrels, boxes, and pots in dungeons can drop low-tier valuable items but will wear down your weapons. Wait until you have completely cleared the dungeon, as breaking barrels can alert enemies. It is also a good idea to use a weapon dropped by the enemy and toss it when done to avoid durability wear down. Inventory management is key to running dungeons as well. When in crypts, beware of opening any sarcophagus, as there is a chance of spawning a wraith, which is a good source of jump scares. These wraiths are worth it in the long run because they all drop one piece of loot as they disappear. Tip 15. Have fun with the game. The new save slot system will allow you to test out each class and figure out the best way you want to play. It can be very frustrating in the beginning of the game as you are trying to figure out how to play. These new save slots will allow you to switch between characters, so if you are having a hard time with Derwin, switch over to Jorgrim. If you don't like using maces as Jorgrim, re-roll and use dual-wield axes. There are lots of different playstyles using different skill trees and equipment. This game is not meant to be easy and will take time for you to really get the hang of it. The final bonus tip that I alluded to at the beginning of the video is to make use of a technique called save scumming. This is useful for a number of purposes and exists due to how the game was developed. While some map data is saved along with your character when you go to sleep, merchants and enchantments reset each time you load the game. Simply save, hit escape, then select load to choose your latest save file. This is useful for enchantments as you could re-roll the enchantment infinitely until you get the combo you want. Different pieces of equipment offer different types of enchantments, which I've listed on the screen. If you are selling goods to the merchant and he runs out of money, do not continue selling to him, as he will only give what money he has available. Go to sleep and reload the game and he'll be flush with cash again. This is also helpful if you are trying to get specific treaties or equipment to show up in their inventory. Thanks for watching. I do daily Let's Play videos and weekly informational videos on Stoneshard. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button if you aren't already. Hit the bell notification and leave a comment below. Which tip do you believe is most useful? Is there anything I missed? I didn't go in depth on combat other than general tips, so I'm sure that will get mentioned. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.